University of Maryland School of Medicine honors the outstanding achievements of our faculty, staff, trainees, and students at the 2022 Gala. Please welcome our co-chairs for the evening, Calvin G. Butler Jr. and Patricia J. Mitchell.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2022 University of Maryland School of Medicine Gala.
Good evening to all of you. Calvin and I are thrilled to represent the School of Medicine's Board of Visitors and serve as Gala co-chairs once again for this exciting and wonderful flagship event.
Yes, PJ and I are delighted to serve as chairs of this event. Our theme for tonight's event is Vision and Victories. As members of the School of Medicine's Board of Visitors, we have had the wonderful opportunity to meet many of the faculty, staff, and students who are the epitome of what we are celebrating this evening.
We are delighted to welcome our friends and colleagues who have joined us tonight for this Gala celebration. Included tonight are elected officials, business and community leaders, academic leaders, alumni and faculty, students and staff. And of course, we would like to recognize our many special friends, donors, and supporters tuning in tonight. Thank you for attending this event. We are grateful and deeply appreciate everyone's commitment and support of the School of Medicine.
And we are most grateful to the sponsors of this evening's event. The names of our sponsors are listed in your program, but we would also like to take a moment to acknowledge our lead sponsors. Our presenting sponsor is the Whiting Turner Contracting Company. The deemed legacy sponsor is the University of Maryland Medical System. Our gold sponsors are Exelon, Dr. and Mrs. Robert Fischel. Our silver sponsors are Express Care Urgent Care Centers, Kelly Benefit Strategies, Michael and Erica Cryer, Mercy Health Services, and University of Maryland Faculty Physicians, Inc. Please refer to our program for the names of all other sponsors. And thank you so much for your support and generosity, which have made this evening and the many accomplishments of the School of Medicine possible.
We sincerely thank all of our sponsors for their ongoing support. The funds we've raised this evening will be dedicated entirely to the support of the newly established Center for Advanced Research, Training, and Innovation, and provide meals for those in need throughout our community. And now it is my great honor and privilege to introduce to you Dr. E. Albert Reece, the Executive Vice President for Medical Affairs at the University of Maryland, Baltimore. He is also the John Z. and Akiko K. Bowers Distinguished Professor and the Dean of the University of Maryland School of Medicine.
Thank you, PJ. I'm grateful to have you and Calvin serving as our honored chairs for this evening and for your tireless dedication to the School of Medicine as members of our Board of Visitors. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm delighted to welcome you to the 2022 University of Maryland School of Medicine Virtual Gala. As I prepare to end my tenure as Dean, I'd hoped to be able to celebrate with you all in person. Even still, I will forever value the fond memories of this gathering, and I appreciate your unwavering support throughout the years. What an impressive year for the School of Medicine, with our outstanding resilience or physician scientists have continued to make life-changing and life-saving history through their research and clinical practice, while at the same time educating the doctors who will be the future of medicine. Thank you for all that you do to make this institution so great. One of the joys of being Dean is to have been supported by a Board of Visitors, and I'm so grateful that we have several members who are participating in tonight's program to help make my final School of Medicine Gala so very special. At this time, I'd now like to introduce the Chair of the School of Medicine's Board of Visitors, Ms. Cynthia Egan. She will share greetings on behalf of our board.
Thank you, Dr. Reece, for your very kind introduction. And thank you to our incredible chairs, Calvin and PJ, for representing our colleagues on the Board of Visitors. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. On behalf of the Board of Visitors of the University of Maryland School of Medicine, it is indeed my pleasure to welcome you to our annual gala. Each year, we set aside this time not only to thank you for your generous support of the School of Medicine, but also to show you the extraordinary and tangible impact of your investments. We also set this time aside to celebrate together the triumphs made possible by powerful and inextricable partnerships with donors, faculty, alumni, elected officials, and our friends and colleagues at the University of Maryland Medical System and the University of Maryland, Baltimore. I have had the good fortune to be directly involved with this outstanding institution as a member of the Board of Visitors for the past 9 years. For those of you who did not know it, the University of Maryland School of Medicine is the oldest public medical school in the United States. This school has been learning, growing, teaching, and contributing to the health and well-being of citizens of this nation for centuries. And now the world is being served by these gifted and caring professionals. We currently lead transformative and innovative initiatives in many areas, including transplantation, cancer, and trauma. Before I continue, on behalf of the School of Medicine, I would like to recognize the following individuals who have always been wonderful supporters and have helped us achieve our mission. Among them, I wish to recognize Chancellor Perman. Thank you for your outstanding leadership of the University System of Maryland and your strong support of the School of Medicine. President Jarrell, thank you for your effective leadership of the University of Maryland, Baltimore during these very difficult times. We are so grateful for your support of the School of Medicine. Dr. Jarrell, please share with us your greetings and your thoughts about our collaborative efforts.
Good evening. I am happy to be able to greet you all this evening. Time after time, the University of Maryland Baltimore community has shown its ability to rise to the occasion, to overcome challenges, to help improve the human condition. It's fitting that the School of Medicine's theme this year is Vision and Victories. So much of what we've been able to accomplish, from being back on campus to the historic xenotransplant, is because of folks who have had the vision of how to face health challenges and then were able to put them into practice. That is how you achieve victory, and you have done it here at the School of Medicine over and over again. That spirit of innovation and discovery, collaboration, and commitment to patient-centered care, that's why the School of Medicine endures, now 215 years after its founding. I'm grateful to each of you for remaining true to our mission to improve the human condition and serve the public good. I would like to give special thanks to Dean Reece for his stewardship of this great School of Medicine over his tenure here. Thank you, Dean Reece, and thank you all for being here this evening.
The achievements in healthcare that the School of Medicine has made over the past year results from the collective efforts of many members of our School of Maryland community, including the Medical Center and the Medical System community. We are most grateful for the leadership of Dr. Mohan Suntha, President and CEO of the University of Maryland Medical System, and the Marlene and Stuart Greenenbaum Professor in Radiation Oncology at the University of Maryland School of Medicine, as well as the President and CEO of the University of Maryland Medical Center, Dr. Bert O'Malley. We are fortunate to have their partnership and support. Thank you and welcome. I would like to invite Dr. Suntha to share his reflections on behalf of the system.
On behalf of the entire University of Maryland Medical System, I want to add my congratulations and thanks to the University of Maryland School of Medicine for all of the historic accomplishments and the continued partnership that has defined our collective organizations. We as the medical system have grown to the point where we now deliver over a quarter of all hospital-based healthcare across the state of Maryland. And as we have grown, we have recognized that all of the success of the medical system connects back to our foundational partnership with the University of Maryland School of Medicine. Our symbiotic relationship between the medical system and the School of Medicine has defined the path of success for both of our organizations. As a medical system, we've tried to be purposeful in defining the differentiation that comes with a health system that is truly committed to the tripartite mission of academic medicine. And so when you think about educating the future healthcare workforce of our communities, of our state, and indeed of our nation, it is our partnership with the School of Medicine that we are so proud of. When it comes to delivering the highest quality clinical care to the citizens of Maryland, it is again the differentiation that comes with programs that uniquely define the strengths of academic medicine as a consequence of the partnership with the School of Medicine. And then importantly, it is the understanding of the value associated with discovery-based medicine that allows us to say that we have this unique responsibility of thinking about the cures of tomorrow while we are delivering the care of today. Now, I will tell you that on a personal note, the successes of our relationship have foundationally been driven by the leadership at the medical system and Dean E. Albert Reece. Dean Reece has been a phenomenal friend and a mentor to me. And I would say that on this occasion, at this gala, I want to take a moment to recognize his personal friendship, partnership, and commitment to me as an individual that I am incredibly grateful for. So as we celebrate this year for what we've accomplished, and as we look forward to the evolution of our relationship with the School of Medicine, the faculty, and the medical system, all of that evolution will come as a consequence of the sweat equity that leaders such as Dean Reece and faculty leadership have put into on behalf of the citizens that we serve. So thank you again and congratulations on this amazing evening.
I extend the warmest of welcomes to our School of Medicine alumni who have joined us this evening. We deeply appreciate your loyalty and your support over the years. I'd like to take this moment to pay a special honor to those alumni who are celebrating their 50th class reunion. Congratulations on this milestone, and thank you for joining us tonight. We value our very strong partnership with our Medical Alumni Association, and we would like to introduce Mr. Larry Pitroff, the Executive Director, to offer his greetings.
Hello, everyone. While this event is being celebrated virtually tonight, we are delighted to have live reunions going on this weekend. And in particular, we're celebrating the distinguished careers of three classes, the classes of 1970 and 71, whose 50-year anniversaries were deferred until this year, celebrating with the class of 1972. So we wish to extend our congratulations to members of all three classes who have enjoyed distinguished careers. We're very proud of you. And as we celebrate these careers, we look forward to the beginnings of some new careers beginning in just 2 short weeks as we celebrate our 213th commencement exercises. So class of 2022, we have great confidence in you, and we're looking forward to following you as you begin distinguished careers as graduates of our medical school, and we invite you to join us in our work for this great school. Finally, we wish to celebrate the retirement of E. Albert Reece, who steps down after 16 years at the helm. Dr. Reece's tenure of 16 years ranks third longest among all medical school deans since our first dean in 1807. We have celebrated his tenure several years ago. We established a scholarship, an endowed scholarship, the E. Albert Reece Scholarship Fund, which is already generating income for students each year. This past year, we commissioned a portrait of Dr. Reece, which was unveiled in March, and that will be on display in perpetuity in Davidge Hall. So we invite you to come and visit our building soon to see it. And finally, by unanimous endorsement of our alumni membership, we are extending honorary lifetime membership to our dean in the Medical Alumni Association. So you see, Dr. Reece, you didn't graduate from our great medical school, but we'd never hold that against you. Congratulations, Dr. Reece. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you, Larry. Our school's impact on health and well-being extends far beyond Maryland's borders, and it's because of the collaborative effort of all of our partners. Every new discovery that has happened here leads to another opportunity to unravel mysteries in medicine and to elevate healthcare. The transformational research that our physician scientists are conducting is having an impact on national and international levels. I salute the school's resiliency and commitment to excellence in education, implementing innovative and meaningful learning, and skillfully engaging our medical students to excel in their chosen healthcare path, despite the obstacles of the current pandemic. I am grateful to be affiliated with an organization so resolutely committed to transforming health. It requires the special, the gifted, and ordinary people willing to do extraordinary things. And from the bottom of my heart, I am grateful to each of you who contribute to this noble endeavor. With heartfelt appreciation, we say thank you to the supporters, contributors, sponsors, allies, and friends who have tuned in tonight. Your generosity and support make all of this possible. So on behalf of our Board of Visitors and the broader community, we could not be more grateful to each one of you. Thank you for the honor to be a part of this great work.
Thank you, Cynthia. And thank you so much for your leadership and tireless dedication to the School of Medicine. I would now like to introduce our featured video for this evening, Visions and Victories. The theme is so appropriate and one that truly reflects the spirit of this outstanding institution.
Tonight, you will get a glimpse into the world of the dedicated faculty, staff, trainees, and students of the School of Medicine.
Vision and Victories. The gift of life.
After contracting COVID-19 at a concert in Florida, 24-year-old Blake Bargatze found himself in the hospital and unable to breathe.
The nurses said I was pretty much drained of all color, and I just remember them saying, you know, we're gonna have to intubate you, you're gonna go to sleep for a little bit.
As his condition worsened, Blake was placed on a ventilator and transported to a hospital near his home in Georgia. There, the family was told that Blake's lungs would never recover from the damage inflicted by COVID. His only hope was a double lung transplant. But no nearby transplant centers would take his case. They were either too overwhelmed by COVID or unwilling to operate on someone whose condition was so frail. But Blake's mom, Cheryl, refused to give up. And when she contacted the University of Maryland, the answer was an unequivocal and enthusiastic yes.
We typically do the sickest of the sick. And we have tended to be a center that takes patients who have been turned down at multiple other sites.
Chair of the Department of Surgery at the University of Maryland School of Medicine, Dr. Christine Law is a renowned lung transplant surgeon, dedicated to improving patient outcomes through research and clinical innovation.
The things that we see clinically and we see as problems, we can then think about those and take them into the lab and tweak them and then bring them back into the bedside.
A dream team of surgeons, pulmonologists, and other top specialists was assembled to care for Blake. They're part of the University of Maryland's comprehensive program in transplantation, with School of Medicine clinicians and scientists from multiple academic departments.
We do about, in general, across all the organs, about 380 transplants a year. Big majority are kidneys and livers, but we do a significant number of hearts and lungs, pancreas. And the follow-up, we are following close to probably 5,000 patients.
All right, Blake.
Perfect.
Blake was in good hands, but his survival was not assured. He was being kept alive by a ventilator and ECMO, a heart-lung machine that oxygenates the blood. As he waited for suitable donor lungs, his heart stopped more than once.
3 times, twice on Mother's Day with me. There is nothing worse than a mother having to walk out of the room so they can bring the crash cart in and do compressions on your child. It was horrible.
A temporary pacemaker stabilized Blake's heart as physical therapists worked to strengthen Blake for his transplant. A hospital chaplain stopped by every night.
I just kept praying. Kind of put it up in God's hands at that point. I just knew I didn't want to die.
Blake's own lungs were damaged beyond repair by his body's immune response to the COVID virus. Dr. Robert Reed is Blake's pulmonologist.
And this is a relatively normal scan, as I mentioned. You can see that the lung goes all the way from there to there. Here's Mr. Bargatze, and in him, these were small scarred lungs that were only this big. These were very damaged lungs, irreparable medically, with no chance of recovery without a lung transplant.
My mom.
Hi, baby. I love you.
Just want you to let you know that I love you and I appreciate you coming in and seeing me every single day after work.
As long as there was hope, Blake's mom knew her son would never give up.
He's always been a fighter, and when he's determined, he doesn't stop. And what's funny is his first question to me was, can I keep my job? And his boss said, absolutely. And then he said, okay, I want it.
The University of Maryland School of Medicine is a national leader in transplant research, pioneering new surgical techniques and therapies to extend life for transplant patients. A prime example is the first ever transplant of a genetically modified pig heart into a human, which extended the life of a Maryland man by 2 months. In Dr. Law's laboratory, a major research goal is the reduction of ischemia reperfusion injury. That's the damage that occurs to the donated organ during transplantation.
So when you take an organ out of a donor and you cool it and put it and bring it over to the recipient, that's called the ischemic injury. Once we put the organ in, as soon as we take off what we call the cross clamp to allow the organ to be reperfused with blood, that also causes an injury. That's called reperfusion injury. There's multiple ways of decreasing that, but we have found that if we can decrease ischemia reperfusion injury, that early injury, we see less rejection down the road in these organs.
New devices are already being used to keep transplanted organs perfused and more healthy prior to transplantation. Dr. Jonathan Bromberg is also looking for ways to reduce rejection by controlling the body's immune response. He's studying how white blood cells move through the body.
And there's lots of signals that control how they travel. And every single one of those signals determines whether you have a positive immune response, which would be rejection of an organ, or a negative immune response, which would be tolerance to an organ and preventing inflammation.
Meanwhile, surgeon scientist Dr. Alexander Krupnik wants to understand why the body tries to reject a transplanted lung, but won't reject a cancer.
And that's what makes the lung transplant so acutely immunogenic, because it uses different pathways to be recognized. So the standard traditional immunosuppression, which is similar between kidneys, livers, and lungs, doesn't really work as well for the lung. And that's one of our focus, is to make lung-specific immunosuppression as well as lung-specific therapy for lung cancer.
Dr. Krupnik has already developed a novel drug to fight lung cancer and hopes to develop new drugs to prevent organ rejection. It's the kind of research that can only be done with philanthropic support.
The early, very risky research, we rely 100% on philanthropy. And without that, a lot of drugs just simply would not be out there.
It's hard. It takes a lot of practice.
The transplant program's mission also includes the teaching and training of residents, fellows, and medical students.
You're doing great. You're doing great. Practice makes perfect.
First-year medical student Shani Kamberi is already planning to specialize in transplant surgery.
I became interested in transplant science because I wanted to be able to directly change the patient experience. And by that I mean graft survival, better patient outcomes, and even just a longer lifespan for these patients who come in.
Today, Kamberi is learning techniques that make transplant surgery less invasive.
To be able to come in as a first year and perform with my hands and see these skills that are so important for later use made me realize that I can actually do this.
Blake's prayers were finally answered. His transplant was performed by a University of Maryland team led by Dr. Krupnik. Blake Bargatze had 2 new lungs and 1 very grateful mom.
They saved my son's life. They gave him a chance when other places wouldn't. We just followed the path, and people were placed in it that didn't know me, didn't know my son, and they were willing to help and do whatever it took.
1, 2, 3.
Weeks of rehabilitation followed at the University of Maryland Rehabilitation and Orthopedic Institute.
Very good, honey.
With the help of physical therapists, Blake rebuilt the strength to stand and walk. He had a new lease on life.
The day after my surgery, I couldn't even lift my hands off the bed, let alone stand, all by myself. Literally a week ago, it'd take 2 people just to get me up on my feet. And granted, I still have to use a walker to get around, but I'll be up and dancing again sometime soon.
For the rest of his life, Blake will take a daily regimen of immunosuppressant drugs to prevent the rejection of his new lungs. Throughout his long illness and recovery, Blake drew strength from his faith and from an artistic gift from a special friend.
This is an original design by my best friend Megan. She had drawn it, I believe, right after I got in the transplant and had it delivered up here from Georgia, so probably hold on to it for the rest of my life. And we loved it so much that we decided to put this main design on a bunch of hoodies, as well as some Yeti cups to give out to the staff of the University of Maryland.
All right, he feels good, looks good. He's completely on track medically.
On the first anniversary of his transplant, Blake was cleared to go back home to Georgia. He's back to work now and feeling grateful for the transplant dream team that saved his life.
I just want to thank everyone that was working within the University of Maryland for taking care of me, taking the risk and getting me back to the state of where I'm at now so I can continue to live my life.
It's a gift that Blake and his family appreciate every single day.
I don't think thank you's enough. We'll always be grateful, and we're very blessed.
After fighting cancer for 3 years,
How's that, okay? Yeah.
Bernadette Deely is about to find out if she has won the battle. The results of her PET scan will tell the story. Bernadette's fight began in early 2019 when she experienced back pain so severe she ended up in the emergency room.
That time they did an ultrasound and they saw something suspicious.
A healthy and active mother of 2, Bernadette feared the worst.
And at that time, I was working at my daughter's elementary school as a school nurse, and I knew something was not right.
Bernadette received the diagnosis on Valentine's Day with her husband Mike by her side.
I had multiple masses, and I had a very large mass on my pancreas. Mike didn't need any further description of what was going on.
Bernadette had an aggressive form of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, a blood cancer that had spread throughout her body.
Inside, I could not believe the words I had just heard. The next day was my daughter's birthday too. So it was just a lot to process.
Chemotherapy failed to slow the cancer. In fact, it got worse, making Bernadette ineligible for a bone marrow transplant.
The pain I had was unbelievable. I had a tumor so big pressing on my spine that I had a compression fracture.
It seemed hopeless until a family friend suggested CAR-T therapy. Like Bernadette, Chip Baldwin also had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma that failed to respond to chemotherapy. But Chip was in complete remission. He had been cured by CAR-T immunotherapy at the University of Maryland Marlene and Stuart Greenebaum Comprehensive Cancer Center.
I don't think I'd be here today if it wasn't for CAR-T.
When I was told that I was ineligible for the bone marrow transplant, I could hear Chip's voice saying, okay, now we have CAR-T. Get to Maryland, get to Dr. Rappaport, get to Dr. DeHia. They're gonna find a way to get you better.
A leading expert in immunotherapy, Dr. Aaron Rappaport has been researching and advancing CAR T therapy for more than 2 decades. And under his leadership, the University of Maryland became the first in the region to offer CAR T therapy for blood cancers like lymphoma and leukemia.
With CAR T therapy, what we do is we collect T cells directly from the patient's own bloodstream. So these are patients' own immune cells. And we take these cells and we then genetically engineer them. And these individual T cells then can go and recognize other cancer cells, and then they deliver killing molecules that basically perforate and destroy the cancer cell that it attaches to.
On her 15th wedding anniversary, Bernadette met with Dr. Sarab Dahia, who would oversee her CAR T treatments.
Knowing what we were facing, knowing it was our anniversary, thinking of the vows we made to each other, and this could be our last anniversary. We just were so grateful that Dr. Dahia said we're going to do this and we're going to give it everything we had. And we needed that. We needed that hope.
But so far, cancer had the upper hand.
This is the imaging right before she got CAR T-cell therapy. By this time, she had received 8 rounds of chemotherapy, and you can see the cancer right here invading into her spleen.
During CAR T therapy, Bernadette's own T cells were removed from her body and sent to a laboratory for genetic modification. The immune cells were given a synthetic protein receptor called a CAR, which stands for chimeric antigen receptor.
And these CAR T cells, they're like a living therapeutic agent. They expand, they activate, and they go after the cancer in the patient's body.
Dividing and multiplying into the billions, the modified CAR T cells have the power to seek out and destroy cancer cells one by one, like a cancer-killing Pac-Man.
About 80% of the patients who would see this treatment or get CAR T-cell therapy would respond. And about 50% of those would see such dramatic responses that their lymphoma would be cured.
CAR T therapy was Bernadette's last hope.
This is it. This is hope, CAR T. This is the future, the next frontier with cancer treatment and cancer therapy.
Giving hope to cancer patients is the goal of ongoing research at the Fanny Angelos Cellular Therapeutics Laboratory at the University of Maryland School of Medicine. In the laboratory, state-of-the-art technology is used to process CAR T cells for clinical trials.
The Prodigy machine is a rather interesting piece of equipment. It can perform all steps of the CAR T manufacturing process. It separates T cells out of the original starting material. We also can transduce or genetically modify them before we infuse it directly into the patient.
Dedicated in 2018 by Governor Larry Hogan, the laboratory is also where scientists are developing new forms of immunotherapy to target more types of cancer.
A big problem that we're facing as oncologists is solid tumors such as lung cancer, prostate cancer, and pancreatic cancer, for example. So the first step needs to be to identify the mechanisms that tumors use to escape the immune control. That's something that we've done. And the next step will be to find ways to deal with these problems and to circumvent the mechanisms that the tumors use to escape from your type of immunotherapy.
Third-year medical student Lisa Matsumoto is also assisting with CAR T research as part of her educational experience. She's evaluating patient data to help improve CAR T therapy.
So I've been working on collecting clinical data on our patients who have received CAR T cell therapy, and we are trying to better enhance the management of care after CAR T cell therapy.
Hey, good morning, Ms. Dooley.
For Bernadette Deely, the time has come to learn the results of her PET scan and find out if she has beaten cancer with CAR T therapy. This is it.
The PET CT scan that you had this morning looks great, and it shows complete remission.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody here. I'm so grateful. Can I give you a hug, Dr. D?
Yes, absolutely.
Bernadette Deely is cured thanks to CAR T cell therapy, the University of Maryland Marlene and Stuart Greenebaum Comprehensive Cancer Center, and the physician scientists of the University of Maryland School of Medicine.
I felt like I got the best care in the world.
What a transformative time here at the School of Medicine. We would like to thank the dedicated faculty, staff, trainees, and students whose participation and commitment made this video possible. And of course, a big thank you to the School of Medicine's Public Affairs team for the production of tonight's video. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Michael Cryer, current member and former chair of the Board of Visitors.
Good evening. We are happy to celebrate another productive year here at the School of Medicine, serving the health needs of our state, the nation, and the world. Our faculty, staff, and students have risen in service during one of the most challenging periods any of us can recall. And if the world didn't know the value of our institution before, well, they certainly know it now. I've enjoyed the honor of being associated with the School of Medicine for many years, and I know full well how far we've come. No longer are we shy or reticent about our competitive value. We have earned our reputation as one of the nation's, if not the world's, finest medical institutions. We can attribute our progress to many things, but none greater than the leadership of Dr. Reece. The tenure of former Dean, Dr. Donald Wilson, set a very high bar for Dr. Reece to meet, which he did by guiding the medical school to new heights. Be it the quality of our faculty, the sizable increases in research funding, or the competence of our students, I can tell you as a member of the search committee that selected Dr. Reece, he has lived up to the promise we had all hoped for. It has been my joy to work with Dr. Reece. We've been colleagues, no doubt. But more than that, we have become very good friends, and we expect to continue our relationship in the years to come. It is now my pleasure to direct your attention to this special tribute video for Dr. Dean Albert Reece.
Students, faculty, researchers, and administrators, as well as national and global leaders in medicine, have recognized Dr. Reece's contributions as Dean of the School of Medicine.
I think perhaps his most distinguishing feature is his resolute tenacity. When Al sets a goal, by golly, it's going to be achieved. I think about the fact that he wanted to raise the research productivity of our medical school to the very top tier. And every medical school that's not in the top tier wants to do that. It's a very difficult lift. But Al went about it systematically, hiring great faculty, providing them with the support they needed, and slowly but surely our research ranking rose and rose and rose, and here we are in the top 10 among public medical schools. It's just a remarkable accomplishment.
The IGS recruitment was Dr. Reece's first big initiative after becoming dean, and what I will always be grateful for when I think of his tenure as dean was the way in which he embraced IGS and its interdisciplinary approach to doing science. There was a commitment to have HSF3 represent a mecca, if you will, for interdisciplinary scientific research is something that I think the dean should be very, very proud of.
You know, HSF3, God, that was Dean Reece's passion. Again and again and again, the discoveries that our faculty make in the lab get converted to the bedside or the clinical office. To say nothing about education. Our students can be exposed to what our investigators are doing. New biomedical researchers are being trained. Things are brought to the marketplace from our research platform. There's tremendous good, tremendous implications for what people do in our laboratories.
The magnificent new medical research building. I remember when I was chancellor, he came down to my office to talk about this project and what it would do for the medical school, and I thought, oh my, what a grand vision. But I said, Al, there's no way we can do this. You're talking about a $300 million building, 400,000 square feet. This system nor the state has ever done anything like that. And slowly but surely, he began to convince people that rather than being impossible, maybe it was possible. And lo and behold, within a few years, it's in our capital budget, and we build this magnificent facility, which will always be known as the house that Al built.
There was a clear initiative on the part of Dean Al Reece to take one of the great schools of medicine, actually the oldest public school of medicine in the country, and to transform it from an outstanding regional school of medicine impacting a regional area to do that even more, but also impact nationally the creation of research and scientific understanding that improve care for all.
You know, Al's visionary leadership has elevated the University of Maryland School of Medicine into a top-tier biomedical research and patient-focused academic center. During his tenure, UMSOM has undergone a period of unprecedented, record-breaking growth and achievement across all sectors in research, clinical care, reputation, and global impact.
Since taking the reins of the School of Medicine, Dean Reece has, without question, turned the institution into a research juggernaut. Discoveries and contributions have been made that are incredible contributors to treatments and cures for very serious diseases and afflictions.
And we thank you for all you have done to improve the relationship between the medical school and the medical center and the system as a whole. You've brought a lot of class, dignity, and respect, and we appreciate all that.
You create the space for learning, you share it, and you live at large. I value how you lead with an open mind, an open heart, and with impact. I'm so proud that we convinced you to join the Research America Board, where you continue to serve with distinction as an officer and a member of the Executive Committee. Thank you for that and for all you have done.
I remember the first day of medical school when Dean Reece presented to us in Davidge Hall, and he remarked upon how important clinician scientists are to the advancement of medicine. And I think that that resonates with where Dean Reece feels the future of medicine goes. It's evidence-based, and it's dependent largely on individuals who will take the time to be meticulous and careful with scientific advancement and study.
We were truly grateful for Dr. Reece's appreciation of the changing times in medical education and understanding what we needed to do with the curriculum in order to keep the University of Maryland School of Medicine relevant now and in the future and remain a great place for the education of medical students.
Under the leadership of Dean Reece, the students of our medical school have received unmatched training that prepares us for the care of patients not only today, but for years to come.
I just had the pleasure of meeting with 3 brand new MD, PhD program students. They're so excited to be here. Why are they excited to be here? They're excited because they're stepping into an environment where research is championed, where we have a lot of premier investigators, where we have good questions that we're asking, where we have good funding and good facilities that make us ask those questions in a very effective and useful manner. So it's nice to thank Dean Reece for all that he's done to help create this environment, to make it stronger, and to recruit these young minds to our university.
Dean Reece's vision of the importance of physician scientists has really made a difference in the MD PhD program here at the University of Maryland School of Medicine.
One particular signature, if you will, of his stewardship here is the integration and the emphasis on student research. The outcome of this has been shown with a strong increase in the number of publications that medical students are now publishing that describes their research.
I was in the first class of the School of Medicine that graduated when Dean Reece began as Dean of the School of Medicine in 2006. And as Associate Dean for Admissions, as well as Associate Dean for Faculty Diversity and Inclusion, Dean Reece has been very supportive of our work to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as the work that we're doing in the Office of Admissions.
As the first woman chair of the Department of Surgery at the University of Maryland School of Medicine, it's been a tremendous honor to be mentored by Dr. Reece and to be guided through him as I have taken on this new role.
You've raised the level of not only University of Maryland School of Medicine, but the whole medical system, and have done so much for the state of Maryland and beyond. You've touched my life in so many ways, and our families, and really all of Marylanders.
When I was considering taking the position as director of CVD, it was very important to me that I had the support of the dean and was aligned with the dean. And I'm really pleased to say that it's been a great relationship, and he has supported CVD wholeheartedly during my time here.
It's a real honor to be selected as a chairman of the Department of Otorhinolaryngology, because Dean Reece understood that the chairs he selected speak to his vision, our vision of the future of where the University of Maryland School of Medicine is going. And that future is national. It is geared towards excellence in research, innovation, and translational care. And so to be considered as such, it's a great honor, and I think it's one of the things that I always will be deeply appreciative for Dean Reece in his leadership.
And you can see by the number of staff we have, the quality, what is built, the programs that have been instituted. He pursued the best of the best, and that's what he did here during his tenure.
It was Dean Reece who challenged me to step into the role, step away from the bench, and to think about developing students and leaders. And it's from that invitation that I'm so glad that I actually seized, that we were able to start building many student research programs and become essentially a family or an ecosystem of student research programs here on campus.
For me personally, it's been tremendous to have him both as a friend and a mentor, and then most recently as a true partner as we drive our organization strategically together. One of the things for the future of the medical system that I believe is critically important is that as an entire health system, we need to own the differentiation that comes with being an academic medical system. And so when we think about the foundation that he has set for all of us, as he steps on to the next part of his professional life journey, that path has been set by an understanding that all three parts of the mission matter. The clinical care mission, the education mission, and the value associated with discovery-based medicine. They are intimately linked.
A major attraction for me coming back to the University of Maryland Medical Center and the school has been the accomplishments under the leadership of Dean Reece, in particular the clinical innovation advances. I can throw out porcine heart transplantation, the first in the world, the excitement in the vaccine era, particularly with COVID and the dramatic effect it had, with our Center for Vaccine Development and the impact on the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. Testing of 1.2 million citizens across the state for COVID. It's been an amazing run from Dean Reece, and I'm grateful to be his partner.
He has allowed me to do the type of medical research that I had hoped, and looks like it's working, to help mankind. So Dean Reece has been an inspiration for me to do medical research at our medical school.
We have done a lot of great things together. We've hired joint faculty together, it's now in the double digits of numbers. We've also established joint academic programs, a joint PhD and MD program with the School of Medicine and with the A. James Clark School of Engineering. And in addition, we established collaborative research programs in the area of neuroscience through the Empower relationship. You've been a great partner with me personally, a great mentor. I have admired your leadership style and what you've done for the School of Medicine and for the University of Maryland, Baltimore.
The level of collaboration has been extraordinary. We have become a significantly more collaborative environment across disciplines, with other schools, other institutions, other parts of the world. And it has made the University of Maryland one of the finest medical schools, medical systems in America and in the country, in the world.
On behalf of a proud and grateful state, I want to congratulate Dr. Albert Reece on 16 amazing years of leadership. Under Dr. Reece's leadership, the school has contributed to countless medical innovations and research and trained the next generation of physicians who will go on to selflessly serve their communities.
He is a leader that kind of galvanizes support. I mean, he's a leader who you want to be a part of his tenure. You want to assist him in all his endeavors because he just has a warm spirit about him, and you can tell he has a true dedication to the school and to the students and to the faculty. What he has done for the school and how he's uplifted the stature of the school is just something that's just remarkable.
When I think of Dr. Reece, the word that immediately comes to mind is one that he has used himself many times, and that is relentless. He has been absolutely relentless in his pursuit of excellence during his time as dean. That means he's had very high expectations for his faculty. He was always very generous with his praise, but it was also always tempered with the reminder that there's always more that you can do. So I'm very grateful to him for the leadership that he has shown and his reminder to me to always continue to reach for the next goal.
Visionary.
A clinician scientist.
Inspirational to the students.
Relentless.
He inspires.
Elevating the status of the School of Medicine across the nation.
Relentless pursuit of clinical innovation.
Uncompromising passion.
He had a vision for how to build this institution further, and he executed on it.
Al, we all owe you such a debt of gratitude. The faculty and staff and students at the University of Maryland Medical School, the University System of Maryland, the entire state. You came to us, and we are so blessed, 16 years ago, and you saw the potential here in our medical school, and you elevated our aspirations and brought our medical school into the very top tier of our nation's academic medical centers. We all owe you such a debt of gratitude. What a difference you have made.
What a truly amazing tribute. Now, at this time, I would like to introduce, once again, our Dean, Dr. E. Albert Reece.
Thank you, PJ. Once again, I want to thank you and Calvin for hosting our event tonight. I also want to thank Cynthia Egan, our board chair, and Michael Cryer, our board chair emeritus, for their participation in this evening's gala. The Board of Visit will always hold a very special place in my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for attending our annual School of Medicine Gala this evening. I'm so touched by this video tribute and the most gracious and wonderful sentiments that were expressed. I'll not be able to individually thank all of you by name who provided messages on that beautiful video. I want you to know how much I appreciated your participation. Please know that I appreciate each and every one of you, and I feel I can call you my friends as well as my colleagues. I cannot express enough gratitude for all that you have done for me personally, as well as your support for the School of Medicine. I do want to mention a few special persons who have tirelessly dedicated themselves to partnering with me on this joint mission of caring for the citizens of Baltimore, Maryland, and beyond. First, I want to thank Chancellor Emeritus Britt Kerwin for the unwavering support and friendship he has extended to me from the moment we met. Chancellor Perman, thank you for your ardent and unqualified support of the School of Medicine. President Jarrell, thank you for your partnership during the many years we have worked together at the School of Medicine and now as President of UMB. Dr. Suntha, thank you for your special relationship that we enjoy together. During these many years as a faculty member, throughout your rise as leadership at the University of Maryland Medical System, and Dr. Mali, I'm so thankful for the collaboration we have enjoyed. Although we have not had the opportunity to work together for very long, I'm grateful for all that we have accomplished together. Thank you also to the extraordinarily talented and dedicated School of Medicine faculty and staff, and especially the School of Medicine leadership team, which include the chairs of our departments, the directors of our centers, institutes, and programs, or Vice Dean of the School of Medicine, the Chief Operating Officer, the Senior Associate Deans, the Associate Deans, the Assistant Deans, as well as other Deans' senior staff members. You have provided the talent and the expertise that have created our successes, and you have inspired me every day. Thank you for your support. Finally, I want to thank the School of Medicine's Office of Development, and in particular the events team for their dedication and hard work. This is especially true in all the preparations and arrangements for the many galas that we've had, and for this final gala in particular. As I reflect on the years, I feel very blessed and honored to have had this opportunity to have served as the Dean of the University of Maryland School of Medicine. It is hard to believe that it's actually been 16 years. The time seems to have flown by. Well, maybe most of the time. Many things have occurred during these years. We've had to constantly change and adjust to the ever-changing landscape of the healthcare environment. Of course, the current pandemic forced us to be nimble in making adjustments to our approach while staying ahead of the curve. Throughout it all, what I continue to remember is that we have thrived as a unified academic medical community because of all of you, and in particular the strong partnership that we have forged with the University of Maryland Medical Center and the University of Maryland Medical System. I could not have imagined when I arrived here in the fall of 2006 that I would be so fortunate to have worked with such talented, generous, and dedicated persons. I've admired your resilience and innovation. I've been impressed by your fortitude and devotion to the biomedical sciences and to healthcare delivery. I have been inspired by your outstanding educators whose tireless work provide the very best in medical education. I have been so grateful for all the vibrant, diverse, and caring students who have made their mark here. I'm thankful for the numerous alumni who continue to believe in their alma mater and provide such dedicated support and resources. Our alumni invests in the School of Medicine deans and their enduring legacy under the leadership of Mr. Larry Pitroff. I appreciate our elected officials as well as our community of volunteers, leaders who have dedicated their time to championing our goals and ambitions. I've witnessed in all of you a genuine commitment to be pure of heart in your dedication for caring for others. This is what has made my time here so special. The people, those countless relationships that I've enjoyed. I say thanks to those of you who have provided your counsel and your guidance, as well as your expertise, your humor, and yes, your grace. Thank you for being a part of this experience with me. I'll always be grateful for how instrumental you have been as I have navigated this journey. It has been a pleasure and an honor. Thank you, and may God bless you in all that you do.
Thank you, Dr. Reece. It has been a pleasure to serve this institution under your leadership.
Yes, Dean Reece, we truly value your leadership, and we will miss working with you as Dean.
And now, Calvin, I think it's that time, and uncharacteristically, I will give you the last word.
You know, I'm shocked with that, but thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, this does conclude our program. We appreciate all of those in our School of Medicine family and friends who participated in that amazing tribute. It has been such an honor to serve with my good friend PJ as the Masters of Ceremonies for this special evening. We look forward to seeing all of you next year for the 2023 Gala celebration on May 6th. Thank you again for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
The University of Maryland School of Medicine celebrates our vision and victories.